And a huge tree fell on a house in Vancouver's Mount Pleasant neighborhood early Saturday morning.
I heard what sounded like a big batch of firecrackers, followed by a huge boom and impact that shook the whole house. And then my wife yelling for me from downstairs and my kids screaming. And so I ran downstairs to see our front yard full of tree. A massive tree had come down and landed on our house.
Luckily, there were no reported injuries or any structural damage to the properties, but Environment Canada says rain combined with strong wind gusts could be a factor in what happened.
Especially during a time where the previous months have been generally dry, the concern becomes for trees. Drought-stricken trees are relatively weaker. So when you kind of add those impacts of heavy rain and stronger winds, it causes trees to fall down, branches to break, and possibly causing power outages as well.
Which leads us to Darius Mahdavi, who is joining us now with a first look at the forecast. That was truly some wild weather this weekend.
Yes, I got an excuse to stay inside and hang out on the couch. Right,
exactly
Michelle?
What I did.
Yeah. We got lots of rain over the weekend. This is Friday at noon into Saturday at noon, so about a 24-hour period. Now, most of that rain, though, for much of the lower mainland actually came in those overnight hours. Now, this is our rainfall totals from Friday evening into Saturday sort of midday, and you can see 81 millimeters at the most, but also, well, the most that was measured at a weather station, but some areas probably got more than that, at least a little bit more. Maple Ridge, 73 millimeters, White Rock, 51 millimeters, Abbotsford, 45, Chilliwack, 61. Lots of rainfall came in a fairly short period, 12 to 18 hours for most of these places. So lots of rain. Now, there is a little bit more on the way, but first, let's take a look at some of the other places around BC. The South Island, especially around Victoria, also got a decent dump of rain when that system rolled through. If we move over to parts of the interior, you'll also notice some thunderstorms that rolled up through there during that 24-hour period. We're not seeing the lightning on here because the data is too old at this point to pull it up, but you can see that wherever we have those red pockets, those yellow and red pockets, that's where we have downpours, usually associated with those thunderstorms. So we saw that in Kelowna, we saw it in Kamloops, and we also saw a different storm cell moving through over in the southeast. I want to highlight Invermere in particular because we have some footage, speaking of trees falling down. Take a look at this. This is somebody pulling into their garage, and then just seconds later, a tree falling down right behind them. So definitely I'm glad I wasn't the one in the car there. I would have been a little bit more spooked than the person there seems. But also in Windermere, which is just south of Invermere, the name has probably rarely been more accurate than this. Some wind gusts knocking down those 3 pine trees planted over 20 years ago. So definitely some dramatic scenes across the province. And Michelle, there's still a little bit more excitement to come. We've seen that fire danger rating drop as a result of those storms, but the drought rating, we'll have to wait until Thursday to see if it'll budge. We got some precipitation on the way, and as a teaser for later this hour, maybe even some snow.